Hello, ladies, gents, and everybody in between. This is your pal Wolfie, and this is my review for the final episode, well, the season finale for season 1 of The Last of Us. Now, I had a lot of mixed feelings about, like, before this episode aired, about how they were going to handle it. So that being is because the way everything ends in the game is synonymous with the way everything continues in the sequel. So there are many ways they could have messed it up and made season 2 not have the impact that it's gonna have. So I'm like, how are they gonna do this? Thankfully, I'm glad to say that they did a great job, though this episode was very rushed. First of all, it's the shortest episode in the whole season, which is crazy to me. But it is very, very rushed. And while I understood why, I'm not particularly a fan of that portion. There was a lot more they could have done. I personally feel like it should have been as long as any of the middle episodes. Like the middle episodes were almost up to 60 minutes, and or at least could have been one of the, like, as long as like episode 1 and 3. Like I really feel like this episode should have had more time with it, but you know how things go is how things go. But let's get into the episode. So I really loved how they started it off. First of all, seeing my girl Ashley Johnson back, I fucking adore her. She is Ellie. She will always be Ellie. And us getting to see, Ellie's mother Anna being played by the original Ellie. That was just beautiful. That was great. I'm glad that they decided to do that. I'm glad that Ashley was totally on board with doing it. What I didn't expect is that we would like basically see how it was that Ellie became immune in the first place, which is because her mom got bit while she was still pregnant. Yes, giving birth, but still in womb. So, the umbilical cord passes everything. So she was infected when her mother got infected, like pretty much immediately. So it didn't matter that she cut the umbilical cord afterwards, even though she lies and said she did it before. It doesn't matter. Ellie was pretty much injected with the virus from the start. So I like that they did it that way because now it also gives us context for the video game. Like, what was it exactly that made Ellie immune in the first place, and why is she the only one? It's because so far no one else who has been pregnant and given birth has been bitten and given birth to a child afterwards. Like, so it's like, and that makes perfect sense, actually. Like, I never really thought about that theory of, like, I'm sure there's 1,001 theories of how it is that Ellie was immune in the first place, but I never really put that into perspective before. So I loved seeing that. I thought that was great working. And then to have Marlene come in and basically because if they had shown up any later, Anna probably would have killed Ellie. So basically she saves Ellie, taking Ellie from Anna. And Anna and Marlene, like, it's even said in the video game how Marlene and Ellie's mom were best friends for a very long time. We now know that it's like since childhood, but to having to kill her best friend to save her best friend's child and to help her best friend's child have a life like that, that's just rough. But it's like, but she had to do it. It was her best friend's dying wish, and she fulfilled it, no matter how much it hurt her. she did what was, you know, she did the right thing. She did what she was supposed to. And I like that they did that because it definitely shows the contrast between the kind of person Marlene is and the kind of person Joel is. So always had infinite amounts of respect and love for Marlene. So and that's even with all the small amount of time we've had with her. It's because she's a person of conviction. She's a person of honor. And I fucking adore her character. I really wish we would get more time with her. I really wish we would, because she's so awesome. But yeah. But then, you know, going through the rest of the episode, I can really, like, this episode was pretty much beat for beat of that, of most of the human parts of the final section of the game. So, you know, all the clicker combat, all that shit is gone. I actually wasn't a fan of that part too. I wish that they would have at least done the part where they get like swept away by the water and he like had to save her from drowning, and that's when they get ambushed by the fireflies. They, like, even if it meant not having the infected involved, that would have been fine. I still think they should have put that in there because it was an important scene. It's an important scene. Like, he saves her from the water and he does everything he can to bring her back. And he does, only to get knocked out and for all the preceding things to happen. So I think it was a misstep to not add that, but you know, whatever. I'm not a director. But yeah, we get the giraffe scene, which, you know, everybody goes crazy for. I don't care. Then you get, but I do like the conversation. I like that they, like, most of the conversations throughout this episode are literally word for word what is done in the game, and I love that because all those lines are very fucking important, and it's important for setting up everything that precedes it. So, like I said, that they get absolute A+ on that shit. I absolutely love that part. I mean, I'm not going to skim over it. The giraffe scene was cute. It was cute. It was good. It was nice to see it in there. Again, I don't really care. It never did anything for me like that anyway. But I know a lot of people are going to be happy to see that it was it was in there. It was intact. What I did love is that the environments in this damn show have been perfect. Like, the important places, like throughout the show, there are like certain places that are like shot for shot recreated from the game into the show. And the part where with the giraffes, where you get to see the giraffes and you see that whole terrain of where they are, and like that shit was perfect. Like, I could pick out everything that I saw in the game in that scene, and I thought that shit was awesome. So they get a definite A+ for that shit too. And we get to find out where Joel got his scar from, one that he has on his head. He tried to kill himself. And you know, it's his first time like really opening up to Ellie about it. And it helps her understand him a little bit more. And yeah, like, that's fine. It's whatever. But then they get ambushed by the fireflies, them not knowing that, you know, who they are. And then we fast forward to the most important part of the episode, which is the hospital. So, the hospital is the most integral part of the entire series, because it's the thing that turns everything on its dime. It's the catalyst for everything in the story as an entirety. So, and they did actually an even better job than I anticipated that they would. So, like, you know, they pretty much again have like a shot for shot of the conversation that Marlene and Joel have about Ellie. And that's where Marlene explains the whole thing about how she was born with the infection, and that's the reason, and it evolved, and then that was the reason why she was immune, and then it was something that they could replicate, that they could make a cure out of, that there was, at least that there was hope that they could make a cure out of. And of course, like, to do that, cordyceps grow in the brain, so she would have to die in order for them to actually do any of this. So you know, Joel makes that connection. He's not happy about it. Blah blah blah. So when he gets his chance, he massacres everybody in the hospital that comes in front of him. And anybody who's been paying attention shouldn't be surprised by it. Like, we've seen the glimpses of violence that Joel has, so him going Rambo on everybody, that's not really surprising. What I did like how they did it was how they muffled the sounds of everything, of all the combat that was happening, and like, it really focuses on the music and it really focuses on his state. So he looks like a fucking madman running through all these guys, trying to get to Ellie. And it's like this somber music, because he knows in his head that this is wrong. He knows that it's wrong, but he's too focused on the emotion of, I don't want to lose her, to think about it. He's just going straight through. He's going completely on instinct. So, like, that's what the music, in my head, to me, that's what the music is supposed to symbolize. It's him fighting with those two portions of himself, but he's letting the one overtake the other. He finally gets to the operating room and kills the dude, and we know who that dude is. And is able to get Ellie out of the hospital. Then what is probably my favorite scene, because the scene, first of all, the way that they do it is even better, 10 times better than the way they do it in the video game, because it affirms everything as to why I hate Joel. So again, if you've been watching my reviews, if you know me at all, if you know how I feel about this game in general, you know that I have an unbending hatred for Joel, the character. So, and then the way that they do things in the second game more so affirms the reason for why. But in this scene is how they affirm it for season 2. So when Marlene tracks Joel down with Ellie in his arms, stops him, tries to talk some sense into him, and it's when she tells him that, like, when they have that whole thing about, well, you know, you shouldn't make that choice for her. Well, you shouldn't make the choice for her either. Yeah, they're both right on that. Neither of them should be making that choice for her. But Marlene says the most important thing. You know that this is the choice she would make. You know what kind of person she is. Tell me that she wouldn't make this choice. And he knows it. Like, and that is the part that gets me every fucking time. You know what kind of person she is. You know exactly what she would want. And you go the complete opposite of it for your own selfish reasons. You doom the whole of humanity. You lie and try to attempt to manipulate the person that you apparently love for your own selfish reasons. fuck you. That's how I feel. Like, I don't give a fuck. Because it's one thing if you're doing something out of love, yes, but love is a double-edged sword. It's something that can give beauty and it can bring tragedy. In this case, it brings tragedy. So you killed all these people. You doomed the whole of the world for your own selfish reasons. Knowing that the person that you're apparently doing all this for would completely disagree with it and be completely against it. You're an asshole. Sorry. People can love Joel as much as they want. I will never, ever feel any kind of empathy of any kind for his character. Because fuck you. Fuck you, dude. That she went through, like, she even says it herself. Everything I've done can't be all for nothing. That was her whole, she has survivor's guilt. Ellie has infinite survivor's guilt because all these people that she's loved has died either for or around her, and all she wants to do is make things right. She wants to make the world better. She wants her life. She wants all those sacrifices, everything she's had to survive. She wants it all to mean something in the end. She wants to do something more than, like, she wants to fulfill her purpose. And he took that from her. He took it all from her for his own selfish gain. So, again, fuck you, Joel. And that will always be my feeling. That will never change. If anything, the way that they play it out in this reaffirms it 1,000 times over why I feel the way I feel. And it will never change. But moving forward, they have the scene in the car where he tells her what happened, which you can tell from there she knew he was fucking lying. Then you have the lead up into them walking into Jackson, and walking in the general area into Jackson, and then they have that back for back. I don't like that they rushed a lot in this episode. The fact that they spoke through, like, in the game, it's a slower conversation that's had when this exchange happens. They say the lines so fast in the show. I did not like that. It didn't hold the same emotional weight. They should have said it slowly with more emotion, and I would have loved that a lot more if they would have done it. It was still good. Like, they still delivered the lines great. It's just that I wish it wasn't so fast. I wish it was meticulous, and it wasn't, but But yeah. So you end up with her asking him giving him one more chance to tell the truth, and he chooses to lie again to her face. And she's just like, she knows he's lying. She doesn't know how deeply he's lying, but because she cares about him, because he's all she really has left, she says okay. But you can see it in her that she's not happy. She's highly upset about what's going on. She has so much trauma already dealt that all he's doing is putting more on top of her, and it will only continue because of him. So, yeah. I mean, overall, this episode was like I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it, and I really, really enjoyed the changes, like the changes that they did make. I really, really enjoyed, and the little additions they put, and the fact that they completely affirmed my hatred for him. I love this episode for those reasons, but it was very rushed. It should have been a longer episode. But overall, I absolutely loved this season. This was an excellent show. I knew it. Like, I had no doubts that the show was going to be great. Because Neil was involved, I knew it was going to be great. Because the man is a genius, and I don't give a fuck. So, very happy to know that I was right. And I am what I'm looking forward to is season 2. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to have Abby. I cannot wait to have Dina. I cannot wait to have Jesse. I cannot wait to have Lev. So many characters. So many characters. So many stories. Cannot wait. Very fucking excited. And I just can't wait to just watch Joel die again. Hopefully even worse than they do in the game. That's my hope. But yeah. This concludes my reviews for this, and this has been fun.